Hey, this is Jeremy Vaeni, and you're watching the Culture of Contact 2007 press conference. Just a quick note before we get started here. You're going to see a man jump into frame and start talking over Harold. That is Anthony Juenes. He was a guest speaker on Sunday. He was absolutely amazing on Sunday. Unfortunately, on Thursday, I had no idea who he was. So when he jumped up there and wanted to be a part of this, I was just like, it's too late. We've already started. So if you're wondering what that's about, that's what that's about. And so without further ado, here is the press conference.
Welcome to the launch of the first annual UFOs Cultural Contact Multimedia Festival in New York City. Before we begin, I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves and their association, and then we'll have everybody speak here. Jeremy?
My name is Jeremy Vaeni. I'm the co-coordinator and creator of this festival with Harold, and that's my involvement in this.
I'm Michael Luckman, Luckman. I'm director of the New York Center for Extraterrestrial Research. I'm also the author of a book called Alien Rock, the Rock and Roll Extraterrestrial Connection.
I'm Bill Burns. I'm the publisher of UFO Magazine. We're one of the sponsors of this. And I'm the author of The Day After Roswell with Philip Corso. And I've produced a number of TV episodes on UFOs for the History Channel.
My name is Farah Yurduzü. I'm Turkey's first female UFO investigator. I published 4 UFO-related books in my native country, Turkey. And my new latest English book in UFOs, Confessions of a Turkish Ufologist, just came out yesterday. It is in print right now. It is out. And I will be speaking Sunday as well as tomorrow's opening. And I am one of the writers of UFO magazine. Thank you.
My name is Alan Steinfeld, and I host a television show in New York called New Realities, which is an investigation into paranormal and altered realities, which I think UFOs are a part of. I'm also an abductee, and I've been investigating UFO phenomena for about 20 years. So I think it's a very exciting moment that I've actually landed in New York. So thank you.
I'm Jeffrey Morgan Foss. I'm a lifelong experiencer of positive contact, peaceful contact. I'm a speaker here, and my story is being embraced by many countries in the world right now.
I'm Melissa Reed, an artist and experiencer, and I'm honored to be a part of this event. I feel that it's meant to be.
My name is Alan White. I'm an abductee, also a contactee. And I'm a musician. I've written a musical called Built from Venus. This is a true story. You'll be hearing it on Sunday when I speak. And that's my involvement in this. And I'm happy to be here.
And my name is Harold Egeln. I'm a journalist who works for papers in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm also the founder of the Search Project for Aspects of Close Encounters, a support and research group started here in New York City in 1992 that gives support to people who've had UFO experiences and has meetings support them, and also public programs to let the public know more about what this is all about. I am also president of the New York Space Society, which is a chapter of the National Space Society, a national group that's involved in space exploration advocacy. And here today, for the first time, abductees, UFO experiencers, UFO witnesses, and educators have come together to talk with one voice, a chorus actually of many voices coming together as one, to talk about the culture of contact, what it's meant in the past 60 years to experience this through our own experiences, through the movies that will be shown here on Friday evening and Saturday, through the artwork, many of it by people who have had the UFO close encounter experience. So our purpose is to give voice, a very serious voice, to this the UFO issue, which has been in this country for 60 years now, as of this weekend. I also, as a journalist, want to mention that journalists have done a really good job in certain areas, and certain areas include the book by Howard Blum, a former New York Times reporter who did a book called Out There in 1989, where he did investigation of the UFO mystery. C.D. Bryan in the early 1990s, who wrote the best-selling book Friendly Fire, did a book on the MIT UFO abductee conference in 1992. So it has been taken seriously by several journalists, and I myself have written about it sometimes with under pressure not to say the truth, and other times I'm able to report the truth. Anyway, what we're here today is to talk about the festival, and I'd like Jeremy, who has a fantastic movie that came out a year ago right here in this theater where I first met him, and a fantastic book also that details his experiences. And Jeremy?
Thanks, Harold. I wrote out this long bunch of diatribe that I was going to give to you, but now something amazing happened the other day, which is when I was making this sign, this alien abduction sign, the gentleman, his name is Willie Jones, asked me, what is this festival? Is it science fiction? Is it real abductees? And I said, well, it's little one, little two. It's mostly run by abductees. And as soon as he heard that, he told me his story. His story is that in 1967, he was part of sort of an urban outreach program where they brought inner city kids to Hidden Valley to camp. And they were hiking, it's about 16 kids, a couple of counselors. They were hiking up a mountain. It was like, a 3-mile hike. And they got to the top, and this giant circular craft with blinking lights came down and said it was so close to them that he could feel it. And he likened it to being at Niagara Falls, where you feel the sort of feeling in your body of that low rumble. And one of the counselors just yelled, "Run." And so they started booking it down the hill. And the next thing he remembered, in fact, the next thing they all remembered, was it being the next day, and they're all in bed in their cabins. And he has no idea what happened in the interim, but he assumes that's what we call missing time. He assumes if he were to undergo hypnosis or somehow try to figure it out that he would recall an abduction account, and I can't understand what else that would be. And I had asked him, did you talk to the other kids the next day about this? And he said, yes, of course. And one of them had suggested it was a dream. Maybe we all dreamed it. And he just thinks that's ridiculous because they couldn't have all had the same dream. They were all walking up the hill. They did all see that. They did all run. And they mysteriously ended up in bed, and it was the next day. This, to me, is an example of exactly, and I asked him, before I get into that, I asked him, I said, I'm going to use your story at the press conference. I've got to use this, but I'll keep you anonymous. And he actually said, well, you can use my name because if they think I'm a liar, that's on them. I mean, this was my experience. Now, I couple that with going to the Combustive Motor Corporation's book release party for their art book on a graffiti artist named UFO who does graffiti art all over the city of UFOs and aliens and things like that. And in the room, and it was a huge party. Pretty much, it was one of those everyone who's anyone is going to be in the room. And it was aging hipsters, it was, suburbanites, it was the artsy crowd from the village, it was all kinds of people together, all talking about this openly. And that's exactly, both of those are examples of exactly what this festival is. It's about really coming out and speaking about this and not having a backroom discussion about abductions and all this stuff, because it's real. And if it's a Rorschach test, that we're all looking at differently from different angles, there's an actual ink blot that we're looking at. There is an actual object there, folks, and that's, we during this festival, what we're going to do is listen to myriad perspectives, at the end of which we're going to have an abductee panel on Sunday, and we're going to sit around, with the public and say, look, what in all of this makes sense? Can we throw out some theories? Can we accept others? Can we make a cohesive picture out of our abduction experiences at this point in history? And is it okay to talk about it? Is it okay for us to be self-effacing on the one hand, but taken seriously on the other? And I think it is. I think the time is right. The time is now. And that's partially, mostly, what this festival is about. The other part of it is that these beings that we call alien reach out to us in abstract ways. And for us personally, this is our way of reaching back in kind. And I'm going to throw it over to Luckman.